January 12th, and it's my birthday. I just felt weird saying the date and then not saying that it was my birthday. But anyway, I'm here to talk about 3 reasons to reach out to prospective clients without waiting for them to reach out to you. At the top of 2024, I feel like there's just been so many changes in 2023. And everybody's just kind of like, okay, if you made it into 2024, like, let's go. You know what I mean? It kind of feels like from 2020, the start of, COVID and so much change. And then all of a sudden, everything was kind of rolling with a lot of small businesses. Everybody was kind of settling in to this sort of new normal. But then 2023, and that I felt like the big downshift on how businesses were running, right? All of a sudden, we kind of like settled down into this different environment. And so coming into 2024, it's like, okay, if you're here, if you're still here, and you've gotten through the COVID disruption, you've gotten through the COVID new normal, you've gotten through the post-COVID settling down, then we need to recenter ourselves and go, do the very simple things without the kind of, I think disruption. And I think we need to go back to basics. And I think it's really just about simple sales. Sales actually is really simple. What it is basically like you get a bunch of people, you talk to them, and some of them become clients. And I think that when we talk about generating clients for service-based businesses, whether you're a consultant, a service provider, you could be a salesperson on at an organization. You could be a business development executive, like whatever that looks like for you right now. It's going to be kind of a noisy year because of some of like the politics going on, at least in America, the United States. But I will just say it's just about taking action, repetitive action, simply over and over again. And I think when we talk about reaching out, it is, I think, more than ever, really about connecting on a human level with someone else, because the trust, that we're going to need to generate is going to need to be really high. Not that it ever wasn't, right? But when there's not like people aren't flooded with money and all of that, I think that all of a sudden we've kind of come back, like I said, to sort of the basics of like trust building, relationship building. I think a lot of us got really complex with our marketing, with our funnels and all of that. And it's really just about to the basics. So let me go ahead and get started. I mean, what I'm going to cover right now are 2 things. One is 3 reasons to reach out to your prospective clients. And number 2, why? Sorry, I shouldn't say why. How? What does that actually look like? Okay, sorry. So what are the 3 reasons, right? The why am I here telling you how important this is? And number 2 is really, what does reaching out mean? Okay. I always like to be really clear with the language that I use in terms of explaining. So, okay, 3 reasons to reach out. So first of all, when we talk about really just making ourselves known, MYK, to other people that could be prospective clients, typically there's kind of 2 main categories. One is a group of people who have indicated somehow that they have interest in your work. That could be what we call the hand raisers. They've downloaded your checklist. They've commented on your post. They've engaged with you in some way. And you're like, hey, thanks for downloading my checklist, or hey, thanks for signing up for the newsletter, or hey, thanks for commenting, right? And just kind of starting that relationship building there. I think the other group of people is if you're going to do specific, more, I would say, more cold outreach. What that looks like specifically for the kind of training and coaching that I do, it's really about starting with connecting, especially on LinkedIn, right? So it's basically saying, okay, maybe they haven't raised their hands, but they have very specific attributes or characteristics or demographics or some kind of qualities that make them, at least on the surface, somebody who could be an ideal client, right? And so we've kind of got these 2 groups of people. And the reason that we need to absolutely do the simplest thing and just make ourselves known, reach out, start that one-to-one relationship building. Number one is a lot of our clients, they do not have the time to go find a solution. I mean, I can tell you right now off the top of my head, there's probably one or two things that I'm looking for. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. And I think that what happens a lot of times is people might approach me in the DMs, or they might approach me, whatever, any which way, but it has no relevancy to me at all. If someone reaches out and says something that at least shows that they actually know me and what I do, and it has bears some relevance, and it doesn't really fit me, I'm fine with them kind of reaching out. But we've got to kind of be able to look at someone's profile, look at what they're about, and kind of get some sense of what are the qualities. Maybe it could be region, it could be industry, it could be background, it could be a million things. And that criteria is coming from the clients that you have been successful with, right? So they're out there, they don't know what their solution is. And if you reach out to them, they might say, oh my gosh, I am looking for that. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to hire you right away, right? But it is mean that, I talk about the 5 different steps that somebody needs to go through to make a decision to work with you. And the first one is just knowing you exist. One of the biggest problems I see is that people they're hiding behind their marketing, marketing. And they're just like, okay, I'm waiting. Who's interested? I think we need to be more engaged and more active and bring more energy to that responsiveness. So just to say, number one reason you should do outreach is people don't have the time looking for a solution. They're busy. And you're going to actually save them a lot of stress and time. And they're going to get to the solution faster if you just introduce yourself. That's a normal thing. Okay. All right. The second reason is your client may not know what the solution is to their problem. Okay. And this works 2 ways. One is they may not know that there is a solution to the problem that they have. They may not know which solution is best for the problem that they have. And the other thing is they may not ever have articulated the problem. And so when you're introducing yourself, let's just say you're on LinkedIn, you connect with someone, great, keep it simple. And then all of a sudden they get your post and you're talking about this problem and they're like, oh my gosh, that's actually the problem that I have. Right? I had this before, years ago, I was doing a one-to-one consulting, and there was this guy and he just kept hammering this time for money problem, right? The challenges of consulting and time for money, and the implications of the capacity, being a challenge, because of course you either have all these clients, or you don't have these clients, you're serving the clients, but you're not able to do the marketing, and then you're doing the marketing, and then you don't have the clients, and all of those challenges of the exchange of time for money. And he was really introducing how you can run a group program. And everything he was saying was just ding, 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 the bells were going off. But I think often, I knew what my problem was, but I had never had somebody articulate so clearly what it was. All right. So third reason why you should reach out to people, that's my dog in case you can hear, is that an ideal client tries to find someone like you, but either they don't find them in their network or in the search, let's just say, right? So for example, often if you need a service provider for something, you will check with your network. So this is another reason why you want to have a broad network. You want to have a network that with partners and people can refer you. Okay. So there is just, everything is there for the taking, but it's really just a question of whether you're going to kind of sit back and wait for the referrals, do the marketing and wait for someone to reach out to you, or whether you're going to actually actively either be highly responsive to people. Oh, that's my dog. Okay, great. Okay, so the gardeners are here. I don't normally go on live this time morning. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. Or of course, people you can just find, especially on LinkedIn, it's so easy to find ideal clients. All right. Okay, so just let's get to what does outreach look like? Okay, so specifically for LinkedIn, here's how that's going to look. There's the 3 C's, right? First, you need to connect with people, whether they've downloaded your freebie or whether there's somebody that you find on LinkedIn and you want to connect with them. The reason you connect is because then you can message them and they can also see your content. So the second thing that's going to happen is you're going to have content, okay? And that content is going to help them understand more about what you do and who you are, who you serve. And then the third piece is that one-to-one direct messaging, which is the bridge to, let's say, a one-to-one sales call. All right, let me repeat that. What does outreach look like? You could actually just go to LinkedIn and find this person, or maybe somebody who's downloaded your freebie, and go connect with them. And you're just gonna say, hey, thanks for downloading my checklist, like I'd love to connect, and then your name. Once you're connected, then you're going to share your content, they're going to learn about you, and then you can go one-to-one, right? So this idea that like reaching out, it's not like pummeling people with information. It's that 3-step relationship building process. Okay. So I will also just say that if you are, when we talk about outreach, again, it's, at least in sort of my world, especially because I help people with using like LinkedIn, you're not going to go in immediately with like, here's what I do and can I help you, right? It's just making sure that you're connecting first so that people know you exist, having them learn about you through your content, and then using any kind of hand-raising activity, like commenting, like downloading your stuff, to have the one-to-one conversation, okay? So as we go into this year, right, we have to shut out the noise. We have to, like I said, build the list, build the room of people, share what we do, and some of those people are going to become clients. But I think we have to be mindful of leveraging the marketing, leveraging the incredible platform that is LinkedIn to identify, to bring the energy to that work, and not just wait for the referrals, wait for people to suddenly have this light bulb moment and say, oh yeah, let me reach out to her, because people don't really want to jump on a sales call with you if they're not ready. And if you're reaching out and you're engaging, then what that means is that you're accelerating you're shortening the sales cycle, because you're integrating in yourself into that person's process, and just actually kind of like saying like, hey, opening the door and just saying like an invitation to say like, hey, I'm here and here's what I do, and like, anytime you want to talk or whatever, right? So just knowing that, and when people think about, oh, I don't want to DM, or I don't know, I want to get in people's faces or whatever, the fact of the matter is, as I said, let me repeat those reasons, is number one, they don't have the time or energy, right? I'm guessing, ask yourself like, okay, there's a couple things that people you probably would want to work with or hire, but you don't know who they are. Second is, they don't always know how to articulate their problem. And when you can articulate their problem for them, they're like, oh my gosh, if you know my problem so well, you must know how to solve it. And then number three is they just don't have access to you. Like it's not like they can go on Yelp and find you, right? Whereas the first is they literally do not have time. The second is they don't know their problem and who to look for. And the third is really just like not having any sense of who would be on that list for people to consider to hire to help them solve their problem. Okay. So I want to just share with you, right now I have this new guide. It's called Unleashed Leads. It's the comprehensive guide to attract and convert high quality leads. You can go to unleashedleads.co, not .com, but .co, and should take you to that page. Otherwise, I will also leave this guide in the comments. What this is really helps you understand what I've just articulated. Not so much the why, right? Because I think I've made it clear why, but how. And so if you want to kind of get in front of your eyes, like a visual sort of outline of what I just talked about how to do the outreach, about really, it's not cold spamming people, but that it's a building relationship, and that it's accelerating the sales process with people who have raised their hands to show some interest in your work, even if not all of them are going to become clients. It's going to outline that for you. So it also really kind of gives my particular approach to using LinkedIn specifically, and like, what is the first step that we need to do in order to be successful? in our activities on LinkedIn. So I think it's totally free. I mean, it's there for you. So please check that out. And again, it's going to help you understand when I say reaching out to prospective clients, what that really means. If you have questions, send me a DM, comment below, and wherever this is streaming. And I am hoping for all of us an abundant 2024, and knowing that really we need to bring the simplicity, we need to bring the energy to this year. And of course, this is I'm here to help you do that. And this is this sort of approach of the outreach and the guidance specifically will help you do that. Have a wonderful day. See you later. Bye.